these tend to be details, of course, but they all add up to the big picture. The way it is written, the structure of the piece is so wonderfully laid out. After that mad scene where the inhabitants of the borough ignited against Peter Grimes by Mrs. Sedley and Bob Bowles, who's a bombastic sort of methody preacher. And immediately after that, you come to the most wonderful quartet with the women. Absolutely static, but most extraordinarily beautiful and very difficult to sing. It really is hard, but when you get it right, it's so rewarding. And then there are these wonderful interludes to do. And there's also a lot of humanity in the piece. Enormous amount. Grimes isn't just a sort of, as is so often portrayed, as a sort of child basher. I mean, he has another side to him, which is often left out of the picture in productions, but it is so important, because if the audience don't have any sympathy for Grimes, and he can easily conjure that up by the way he plays the softer moments, if they have no sympathy for him, we've lost a complete dimension. Britten, of course, was a Suffolk resident, a Suffolk born and bred. He knew the sounds of the sea so well. He always lived by the sea. And he incorporated some of these things into this opera, particularly in what are called the sea interludes, which separate the scenes, and in the Act 2 and Act 3, they start the act. Now, your first interlude is a wonderful sort of depiction of the power of the sea, with the seagulls flying overhead, and you hear the sort of calls uttered in the strings, and the brass give a very good impression, wonderful impression really, of the power of the sea down below. It's a wonderful picture. And then you have, of course, a Suffolk storm, which is a mighty piece of work, very noisy, very blustery, and tremendously effective. And then we move on to the second act, and he finds, well, these could be church bells anywhere, but in fact they're Suffolk church bells. You hear the bells quite clearly in an orchestral colour. It's fascinating the way he's done that with the horns interlocking each other, and you can't mistake the sound. And then you hear the big church bell calling the people to church, and the smaller bell, which goes twice as fast, which is for the people that are a little bit late and have to hurry on to get there. And there's a wonderful moonlight interlude when the sea is calm and the weather warm and almost sultry, you might say, unlike now. And every so often you hear this wonderful biddle in the flute and harp, sort of as well as the moon suddenly sort of glinting through the clouds in one little flash. That and the main tune. It's a very, very beautiful number, beautiful piece.